listen, never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Getting on baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
I thought there would be no one I'd rather be talking to on the planet than Julian McWilliams. And then I was thinking, and I was thinking, and I was thinking. And sure enough, there was nobody I'd rather be talking to on the planet. You like that one? Look at that. Look at it. Oh, that was
that caught me off guard.
That was a pretty aggressive smile.
That caught me off guard.
You thought I was zigging.
I was thinking you're going to say Daniel Bard because he retired.
Oh, no. We'll get to that. Daniel's coming on the podcast.
Ooh.
It's one of the greatest human beings in baseball.
Oh,
awesome. I mean, you know him.
Great.
You know him. So it's there should be more like him. More like him. There should be more like you. Look at you. Look at you smile. I'm building you up all over the place. What was before we get going, this is gonna, so by the time people listen to this, the All-Star game will have been basically a week old or so.
Mm-hmm.
What was the thing that you liked about the All-Star game and that you didn't like about the All-Star game?
Well, I'll start with what I like first. I like the home run derby.
Yeah, it was a good one, right?
Yeah, I like the home run derby. I think that was the best part. And honestly, I know Brenton Rooker was whining about the rule or whatever he was doing, or not. I don't want to say whining, but he had distaste for whatever happened. And I agree with him on the standpoint of they should have announced it because I didn't know what was happening either. But I liked the distance thing where it came in because look, Cal Riley could have lost it and not even made it out the first round, and then all of a sudden he's winning based on half an inch, 2 inches. So,
but I like Julie. I like the fact that this was collection of guys that you actually want to see participate.
Yeah.
Like the Junior Camaneros and the O'Neal Cruzes.
Yeah, O'Neal Cruz he's not having the best season, but you're looking at him okay, that's a guy that I want to see,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know James Wood didn't live up to the billing, but that's a guy I want to see too. So
yeah, he did all right.
Yeah, I hope more guys do it, man. I wish I think they're better than that than the NBA. Getting guys to do the dunk contest. It's hard to get them to do that stuff, but I wish more guys. It's a great event. The thing I didn't like about it, I can go on for days with the crowd, the social media people. I know MLB is trying to be cool, but this has to stop. It was way too much social media, been influencer people in there, Dude, we're trying to get some work done. I had one loser asked Aaron Judge. He was like, "What do you do when you get to third base and you have to take a dump?" It's dude, I'm really come on. I get it, but it just became too much. One or two of them, it's fine, but when it's just infested with social media influencers, you're just what is MLB trying to do here?
I think that one of the things that is very clear, and this goes with our guy Miz, the Milwaukee Brewers pitcher, making the team with 5 outings, is that
smiling the whole week.
What?
He was smiling the entire.
Oh, he's this kid. It was like he won a contest. We kind of did
talk to him, but he was just smiling.
It's just again, he was what he won a contest. I think I asked him, I said, "Where were you a year ago?" He's sitting in some, I don't know, it wasn't even a thought. But anyway, my point is that was a microcosm of what baseball is desperately trying to do, along with what you were talking about, where baseball woke up overnight, seemingly, and said, "We're in a fight for our lives for viability." They are, right?
Yeah.
We got to put colors on cleats. We have to, actually let
Pat McAfee calling Aaron.
Well, I mean, again, another example, right? Pat McAfee, who literally didn't know some of the teams, certainly some of the players, but they're leaning into it. I mean, and it's not even where I get like Pat McAfee doing the home run derby, being the hype man, but being the guy who's introducing it in the podium of the lineups and the starters and the managers and everything else. They were just like, to your point, they're leaning so hard into this, and they continue to lean so hard into it because I think that their course correction, I think they're missing the mark some. You know, I don't want to be like old man yelling at clouds because I think I get it. I understand a lot of it. But, you know, at the same time, it's, well, what are you valuing? Like, what do you, in that setting, like you said, what are you valuing? Like, what do you, I don't know.
I think there should be a time for it. And then like having us get like, when they had us, Atlanta was clear. They had 5 years to prepare for this thing, right? Because it got like they banged it in 21, didn't they?
Yes.
And then now they have one line to get into the entire event for press and media. Like I don't get it. It was making like 45 minutes just to get in there, and it's just like, you know what? By the last day, Bradford, you called me. You said, "Hey, where are you?" I'm like, "I'm at the hotel." I left because I just couldn't do it anymore.
Well, and then here's another reality, because I know you left the game. I actually also left the game, and the reality of that game, of the game, was it was a microcosm of how people consume games. Because if you look at some of the things that were highlighted, the Hank Aaron tribute, awesome, right? The swing off, great, fine. But then you have the game itself. Was the game good? Not really. No, but they're just picking stuff, and that's how they're doing stuff.
Yeah.
So
and it's fine if like the games aren't going to be great every year. We know that, but the stuff leading up to it. I mean, come on, guys. Like we gotta pick a lane here. It's fine.
and then as don't even get me going on no players showing up to the draft. I don't want to talk about it.
That's true. I mean, look, what did I tell you, Bradford, at the place? They need to go back to the Cubs select ID number 2526, Williams Adam, out of Montclair High School in Chesapeake, Virginia. And he's here. Click. They repeat it back. Out of such and such, like, just move on. It's fine. The NBA, because most of these guys, we don't see them, right? Most of these guys, them in the big leagues. It's fine.
But I'll say it. I'll flat out say it, Julian. It was an embarrassment. Because you did everything. You turned baseball inside out to have this event to say we're going to make it an event in the middle of the All-Star game when nobody wanted it there. Nobody. Like nobody. But they said we have to make this an event. And then it was like they had the party that nobody showed up to.
Yeah.
That's what it was like. You're welcome. You can use it. You can use that.
I remember a couple of those in college where you're like you threw a couple of.
Well, I don't think you were around when I did my JD Martini party. So the off season where JD Martinez wasn't signed, but everyone was just waiting and waiting and waiting. So I said, I'm gonna do a podcast and invite people and do a JD Martini party and have special martinis. And we're going to call it JD Martinis. And 12 people showed up, and they were all media members. There was actually one guy at the bar.
That's great.
Yeah.
Like, I would have been at the bar. So
yeah. No, I mean,
you should have invited. Oh no! I wasn't covering baseball then.
Oh no! I everyone wanted to be part of the podcast, but nobody else showed up. So anyway, that was my point. I've been there. I've done I've done many book signings where no one showed up. And
the funny thing is, like, MLB was trying to act like it was like something like just go on, like nothing happened. Like it was all.
It's like, come on, they got to move. I've already talked about this with Sam Dixon. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the trade deadline.
Okay.
All right. So I asked you to do the exercise of naming the 5 teams which you are going to be laser focused on when it comes to the trade deadline. I've seen your list, and I can tell you that you're already missing a couple, but it's your prerogative to be wrong. So,
Yeah.
all right, but all right. So I want you.
Thanks for the feedback.
Well, this is what I'm giving you live feedback.
I've gotten a lot of that as of late.
This is more. This is what you're talking about is less of a debate like session. We're just two guys chopping it up opinions.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, this is just a great baseball conversation. All right, give me your first team that you say trade deadline's coming up. Everyone should focus on this team.
I say all right, my first team I think is the Cubs. Reason being, I'm actually intrigued by that team after watching them play this weekend. I don't watch much Cubs baseball. I got to admit, I got to watch more Cubs baseball. I'm leaning into this a little bit more. Got to be more national, Julian. You got to be more national. Got to be more national. So no, in all seriousness, I liked. Look, I think they have an intriguing team. PCA, Kyle Tucker. We talked about Bush last week. Their pitching, I think their pitching was really good this week, and I think they're just a starter short, or maybe a reliever short, and a third baseman. Those are the two things I think that they need. I don't know what the starting market would be, but I think this team has a chance to do something in that division. So that's my first team.
Do they have? So I agree. I mean, listen. Coming into Sunday, they had the best record in baseball, their best run differential, and everything else. And everyone says, if you get Suarez from Arizona, there it is. Boom, you get your third baseman. You're on your way. But I look at it, Julian, like, are you set up for a series, a playoff series? And that always starts with, do you have the pitcher or pitchers who you're going to be like, I'm riding that guy. That guy's going to lock the Scoobles or whoever it is who's going to lock out down the other team. Because if you don't, you can have all this other stuff, and it won't make a diffence. They have good pitching. I mean, they have good pitching.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right. I think all of us get locked up with, well, at least us, as well, me, in my recent years, because I know you've been a little bit more national, but with the team here in Boston, like you get caught up on, okay, are they going to get better to make the playoffs? Versus teams are thinking, are we going to get better for the playoffs? And I think those are two like very, very the two things that are very, very much different. So I'm like, you're right. I don't think this is a team that's built for like a championship. So you're probably right, Rob. I might need.
No, but they can be. But that's the point. Is that like if you're Jed Hoyer, right, and you have this team, that's the point. Is that if you have this team and you feel like, boy, we have a really, really good team, but we cannot leave anything to doubt, then you better get aggressive. Then go after that guy. Like the Dodgers last year, they got Flaherty. I mean, Flaherty was what he was, but he was he was their game one starter in the World Series.
Yeah, he got rocked, didn't he?
Yeah, but he was good before that. If they don't have him,
that's true.
They're kind of screwed.
That's true. That's true. It's always about the guys that can get you through the playoffs, because I'm not sure if by looking at this team currently, this Cubs team, like you said, they can get there. I just don't think they are right now.
All right. That's a good one. It's an easy one because they're the best team in baseball. What's the next one?
I'm going with the Yankees. I'm just intrigued. I haven't heard Cashman in years say I'm going to go after it, right? I think he was particularly humbled by last year's debacle in the World Series of them not being able to defend, and I think that's why they probably made the decision. Well, it was long overdue to DFA DJ LeMahieu, get Jazz Chisholm back to second, and get somebody at third base. I think their defense is short right now, and I think they need a third baseman. I also think they need another bat. I know people say pitching, relief pitching. I know the Yankees will go out there and get that. But I'm more my concern with them. If I were the Yankees, my concern would be taking some pressure off of Judge, which hasn't been the case much this year. I know Cody Bellinger's had a really good year, and Jazz Chisholm had a good year. but you need another dude in the lineup, and I don't think they don't have a dude right now.
When you think Cashman in the trade deadline, what do you think?
What do I think? Like,
No, what's like? What comes to mind for you? I mean, he's been doing it for forever, right?
I
And
think
like,
I think this last like probably half a decade has been sort of measured. But last year, I think in particular, they got a little bit, spiced it up a little bit, as you said, like bringing in Jazz Chisholm, who he thought was the best.
which was, by the way, a great move, as we've talked about.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's really built for that city and that market. I think he's a good player for them and a good person to have on their team. But I think of a guy that knows what he's doing, but hasn't necessarily swung for the fences as of late. And he's held on a lot of prospects and held on to Anthony Volpe when he didn't need to. And he could have got Verlander, I think it was at 17, or no, there's Cole held on. Excuse me, not Volpe, like Clint Frazier, Miguel Andujar. It's like I wouldn't do that anymore. You hope he's not that. You hope he's learned from that. But I think this is a guy that comes with some experience.
Well, the one guy that everyone's going to bring up is Spencer Jones, right? Whose like numbers are outrageous in the minor leagues, and he's an outfielder. Is he built? Is he going to be the guy who you say the next good Yankee, or is he going to be okay Yankee? Like, is he going to be like Jason Dominguez? Like
he's a ringer, bro. He's a ringer beating up on kids. Doesn't count.
Yeah, it kind of feels, and if you ask people, and Sam Dykstra said this too, is that his numbers are crazy, but he swings and misses like crazy also. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, but at the same time, my point is why I bring him up is because that's the guy. If you want to get uncomfortable, and he has value, go trade him. Let's go.
Yeah. No. I mean, look, we can get into this Red Sox stuff a little later, but there are a couple guys I think that should be traded that people might be shocked by, but that aren't Duran or Abreu. If you really want to get serious about this, you got to give up something, man. Like you got to give up something, and that's why I loved, like I said, being around Dave Dombrowski those couple of days because you look around, and you're not thinking about prospects, thinking about the right now. Like I don't give a dang about prospects. I'm sorry, I don't care.
I did the exercise, Julian. The last 2 years, you know who the two guys at teams that say, "Oh man, I regret that." Cole Reagans and Kyle Stowers.
Ooh,
like that's it. That's it. That's it. I mean, there's probably over 30 trades made in those 2 years.
Yeah,
and I'll say this: Chris Young, like he showed me something. He showed me something when you did the Chapman trade for Reagans, and I know that it didn't work out perfectly, but it helped him win a World Series. You went out and tried to get Scherzer, for like Acuna, like he wasn't afraid to do stuff because you know what? He got everybody in that room, Julian. He got everybody in that room. And he said, "Guys, do we think we can win the World Series?" And they said yes, and said, "Okay, all these names, we're gonna have to trade them." More people should do that.
Yeah, I think so too. And I mean, dude, do prospects really set you up for the future? Like, I think Roman Anthony sets you up for the future. Do I think Marcelo Myers sets you up to the future? I don't know yet. Do I think Christian Campbell sets you up for the future? I don't know yet. Like, there's a chance, right, that one of those guys is just good. Two other guys stink. One or one gets injured, or the other guy stinks, right? And that's just how it works.
Well, they don't even have to stink either. They could be a major league player. That's fine. But are they going to really
move the needle?
Yeah, moving the needle. Well put.
The needle.
All right, next one. Next one.
My next one, I'm gonna go with the who did I write down? The Braves.
You love the Braves.
I love the Braves.
Are you still picking them to win the World Series?
I gotta stop that. I'm off that now. No, I mean, because look, they have, and I think this is where it connects with the Red Sox for me, because they have guys who are otherworldly talented, but again, you're not in a winning season, and what do you do with them? Do you trade Sean Murphy because the Baldwin guy looks like he's pretty good, right? Do you trade a Marcell Ozuna because he's on an expiring deal? And I think that could probably be somebody who the Red Sox who could fit well with the Red Sox if they're willing to give up something. Do you what do you do? Do they concede to, or are you the Braves? You're in a market like Atlanta. You have all those superstars. So do you concede to the fact that this is just a lost season? Like, what do you do? Like, this is sort of this crossroads. It's almost like where the Phillies are with their roster in a sense, but the Phillies are winning. Is like this seems like the last year the Phillies have to do something, or else this thing is getting blown up in somehow, some way, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Braves thing, something isn't working. Something needs to be blown up here. But who do you give up in a sense to not necessarily quote unquote blow it up, but to pivot?
Let me ask you this: if they don't blow it up, do you think Julian McWilliams of CBS Sports, national reporter, do you think that the Braves, if they don't blow it up, can be good again next year without blowing?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. They've had a lot of mess. They've had a lot of mess from the Profar thing. Him losing 80 games to Strider just coming back. So now, Riley's injured, but now should be coming back. They've had a lot of injuries to their pitching staff. I think they could be good next year, certainly. I still think they can go on a run. No, I don't. It's just like, why? Like I want to know, like the Padres. This reminds me of the Padres. I think in 23.
Oh yeah, right. The Soto year.
Yes, we're just like, why is this team bad? And they win every category, right? There has to be something internally that makes this team bad, because on paper, they're not that bad. All right, like they're a really good team that's underperforming, and I just don't know why. It reminds me of that team in 23.
That's a good comp. There's two guys I'm curious, like it's going to be the fork in the road for the Braves. Your guy Matt Olson, which I don't think they'll trade, but if you really really want to get guys, you trade him, right? But I don't think they'll trade him. The guy is interesting is Chris Sale to me. Yeah, because he's not going to be back probably to mid to late August, but he's what do you got? Is that cup sponsored or something? You're covering it up. But Sale is a guy who, assuming that he just threw the other day, assuming that he's going to come back and pitch, like considering how much it costs to get these guys at the deadline, to me, he's really, really intriguing. But he has an option for next year. The Braves have an option for next year. And my guess is he's going to be the litmus test of, do they think they're going to be good next year? Because if they do, then they hold on to Chris Sale, right?
Yeah. Either they don't think or they think he's gonna, have one of his moments where he gets injured. But
yeah, but I think they think he's gonna come back and be good. I mean, I put it this way, Julian. If I was a team, like, and I could get him at a reasonable cost for whatever that stretch he's going to be able to pitch, I'd do it. Do it. And you have the option. I do it because all these other pitchers are going to cost so much to get that high end of pitching. Is so hard to do. It's kind of like with Kyle Schwarber in 2021. Like they hit the sweet spots because the guy had a bad hamstring. He didn't play for a month.
He did. He definitely did. And it was a bad hamstring too.
Right. But that's how they got him so cheap.
Yeah. No, I know you're right. I think that's going to be, like you said, I think that might be like the litmus test for what they do next year, in addition to what they do even beyond that, because again, I don't understand why this team is bad. I don't. I don't. Like the other teams, okay, guys get injured, stuff happens, right? Like how many Yankee guys have we seen go down in a rotation, right? Like it happens. That's why when people try to talk about, well, the Red Sox are dealing with this, cool. Everybody deals with injuries. How many people have gone down to the Dodgers? The real great organization figure it out.
Yeah.
Right? And the Mets this year, I'm not going to call them a great organization, but they've had some injuries to pitchers. They figured it out, right? And so I don't understand why this team hasn't figured it out.
All right, next team.
Okay.
Ooh, look at you. You're bobbing and
Uh,
weaving.
the Red Sox. And we don't have to spend too much time on it. I just want to see what they do.
No,
at
it's fair. I think it's fair because I said this. There's a lot of different ways to look at like the Red Sox because number one, they're in the wild card, but they're on the verge. I mean, it can still go either way. Number two, you have a front office who push their chips to the middle of the table with a Devers trade, and it is going to be defined whether or not they are legitimate buyers at the deadline. Like that's a big deal because if you trade Devers when you traded him, I don't care how he's done. I don't care. You trade him when you traded him, you're saying we're taking the chance that we're going to be good enough at the end of July to actually be legit buyers. And then there's the all right, we got guys last year, but we did it in the bargain basement bin. We gave up a bunch of guys who weren't going to be protected in the Rule 5 draft, and we got these guys back. None of them worked out. And now, are you willing to get super uncomfortable at the deadline and get the no question about it guy?
Look,
Yeah.
if I'm them, guy I would consider trading is Marcelo.
Ooh.
I would consider trading him. I don't know if he's going to stay healthy enough to be an impact player. He hasn't played 100 games yet in his professional career at any level. I think you'd be okay if you like obviously keep Roman. He's a part. He's a stud. He's going to be a part of the future. And Marcelo might be a stud too. But I think you have to get uncomfortable with those type of things because again, how many of these guys work out? How many of them work out?
The other question is how many are they going to be all-stars? And not like Santiago Espinal level all-star, but like all-stars.
Exactly. I know what you mean. Like a guy who's not just like a one-off.
Yeah.
But, I think it goes beyond Duran because I don't think Duran gets you more than say what a Marcelo, which you could draw with a Marcelo. I just don't.
Well, you're going to have to. I think everyone can talk about their farm system. I think that you can get useful players without giving up the Marcelos of the world or whatever. Like that's a fact. It's just this is what Dave Dombrowski does really well. Identify guys that aren't going to kill you and getting guys who are useful, especially relief pitchers. But if you are going to dive into the deep end of the pool for a guy like Joe Ryan, I know no one says, I'm not trading, but they're just waiting. They're saying, hey, listen, if you want to get desperate enough, come to us. Fine.
Yeah.
Right? And so do the Red Sox want to do that? Nobody. And here's the
I don't know. And here's the thing. Here's what I was saying to somebody today. I think they're gonna have to be in a situation where they're about 7 games over 500 for this organization to really do something. If they fall into a situation where they're a game and a half out, again, as they've been probably the last 2 or 3 years, a game and a half, 2 games out, 3 games out, I don't know if they do anything like that. And I'm not saying I would. I mean, I would, but I'm not convinced the Red Sox will. I think you really have to do something for this front office to really, really push their chips into the middle of the table.
Julian, I was looking back at the last 2 deadlines, and you tell me if you agree or you remember this the same way. So 2 years ago, because they've landed the same record through 100 games as the last 2 years. And 2 years ago, when you had the Heim Bloom "we're underdogs" comment, and then Alex Cora wearing the T-shirt for 2 weeks,
That was the craziest freaking.
It was such an underreported thing. Anyway,
oh my god!
But you have that, and I look back at that team. They had their offense was so good. Like people forget this. I looked it up in July.
Was it 23?
23. Like in July, they had these 5 guys who had OPSs of over 970 or better for the month of July. Like they had the best offense in baseball, maybe slightly worse than the Dodgers. That was it.
Yeah.
But they had 0 starters. Like
nothing.
They had James Paxton, They had Brian Bayo. They had Cutter Crawford. And Julian, remember this? They were running out 2 openers every time through. They run out 2 openers.
I do remember that. That was, and they were right there.
Right. And then you get to the deadline. You're a game and a half back at Toronto, the team you're about to play, and in a series coming up. And you basically like, oh, well, we got Luis Urias, and that's it. My point is that what they didn't do, and I think this is a lesson for a lot of GMs, they did not read the room. That team was so desperate for some help. They did not read the room. And our good friend, Kenley would he said this later, right? Like they didn't read the room. Like if they got some help, I don't know what would have happened, but everybody in that clubhouse knew what the deal was. And then you have the sad trombone of the underdog comment and everything else. And then last year, what they didn't do, I felt like, along with not getting as uncomfortable because you gave up, 12 guys who you weren't going to protect for, we hope these guys are okay, relievers and Danny Jansen. But what they didn't do was get out ahead of it. After the All-Star break, they knew they didn't have the guys, the Slaytons and the Martins and the Kenleys in Colorado, but they didn't address it, and then it just fell apart. And then you're playing catch up. Anyway, those are the 2 lessons from the last 2 deadlines.
Yeah, you got to do something, man, because I'm of the belief that other teams, according to the manager in Boston, Core, he always says other teams around us got better. It's like, yeah, okay, but like I can go with that line for only so much, but like but it's true. I mean, other teams did get better, but I'm not convinced. Even with the best, like even with another starter, that team would have done anything.
Oh, in 2023?
I don't know.
I don't. I think that if you're that close, you have to at least try.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
So, all right, but you're right. I mean, I think the Red Sox are going to be an interesting team. All right, who's the last one?
That was it, right?
Oh, that was 4.
Ooh, hold on. Ooh, hold on.
Ooh.
Mets.
Oh, Mets.
Right, the Mets.
Producer Evan, his ears just perked up.
Yeah, I know. He'll come on smiling.
I gotta get. It still is the best backdrop in the podcast game. The best backdrop, not even close. The signed Mets poster by Reed Garrett.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. No, yeah. I mean, look, I mean, they're a team that's I think that division is wide open, right, for a team to take over. Like the Phillies haven't necessarily gained any ground on any teams like that. Like they haven't really taken away with their division. The Mets similarly, they haven't really done anything. And I think when you have an opportunity to do something at the deadline, like I think they need another starter. And that's the problem here, Rob. I think this is what I'm getting at here. Somebody's gonna have to throw their chips into the middle of the thing. Everybody wants starters, right? We can talk about Joe Ryan, Sandy Alcantara. I know he's having a good year. Chris Sale. It's like, okay, but everybody wants it. But let me see how bad you want it. Are you gonna overpay for these guys? Because that just might be what the market calls for. You might have to overpay for a guy. You might have to get a little bit uncomfortable, Red Sox, and be like, you know what, this might be a bad deal on paper, but I'm so desperate at winning, I'm going to do it, right? And I think that those are the teams and that end up, for the most part, not having at least telling their fan base, hey, we did everything we could to win, right? I'm not saying go trade Pete Crow or Armstrong or whatever, but again, those things happen, man.
Yeah, well, how about the example of the Dodgers last year? Like, you think they got Kopech, they got Tommy Edman, they got Flaherty, and you think that, and I think that one of the guys they traded away in the Flaherty deal is like, okay, he's their 5th ranked he's an okay catcher who might probably be in the major leagues. You think the Dodgers care about that? You know what they care about? They care about what Kopech did, what Edman did, what Flaherty did. Those guys, you do not win the World Series without those guys.
Definitely not Tommy Edman, right? Like, I mean,
no.
And that guy walked into like what, $50 million just over a
Oh
World
my
Series.
goodness, yeah.
I mean,
But the Mets, the Mets, you're right, but I think the Mets are in a different situation they were last year because you have to dive into that starting pitching pool. I don't think there's any question about it. But what they at least showed last year, Julian, was that they can make some smart moves. That they read the clubhouse. Jesse Winker, Phil Maton, like these guys who like were sneaky good for them. And also fit in really, really. They read the club.
Those margin guys are so essential to, I think, a team's like I don't think Dombrowski gets enough credit for like the Ian Kinsler trades and all those other guys that those years. Like those guys are important as well. But the problem is, I think with teams most of the time is that they make that their only deadline move now, right? The people get the smart people in the rooms get too smart for everybody, and all of a sudden, Ian Kinsler, Danny Jansen, pull side power. This is our deadline move, right? Like, in all respect in the world of Danny Jansen, but it's like, come on, dude, that's your only move. Lucas Sims, Danny Jansen, and this guy. Like, can we get a little bit more star power in here? Like, but I think those moves work well if you have the other bigger moves to go with it.
Yeah, I agree. All right, I'm going to give you the team that you missed.
Okay.
And I'll give you a hint. Their general manager was just on the podcast recently.
Mike Hazen.
Bingo. I mean, they hold a lot of the cards here.
Yeah.
A lot of the cards. You know, you have 3 guys in contract years. Oh, is Torres in a contract year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen. And I know Gallen's not having a great year, but recently he's pitched better, and I would take Zach Gallen. Merrill Kelly's been good. You have Suarez has got to be like the best bat out there.
Yeah.
But
34, 35 homers.
Yeah, but they're hanging in there just enough. And Julian, I love talking to Hazen because he's just so honest about like, hey, listen, we're coming up to a point here where I have to make a decision. I have to, it's not like, oh, we'll see and blah, blah, blah. Like, no, it's like, we know what's going on. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think with them, it's like, I think this week is going to tell a lot because look, they're back at 500, right? I mean, we saw a Mets team like that going to run last year, and they weren't that good. Like they weren't that good at that time, right? We saw the Braves all of a sudden in 20 win the World Series.
There's always one team. Detroit. Hey, how about this, Julian? Detroit last year at the deadline, 1.8% chance of making the playoffs.
Yeah, I know. And now you're looking up now, and they made it to the playoffs, and now they're one of the best teams in baseball. It's funny how those things work. Like I really think even if you don't win it, right? I think playoff experience matters to a bunch going into the next season because you're like, okay, like I've done this on some level, right? Like we've been here before. Like we know what it takes to get here. Like you have that little edge, that little assurance about yourself. When you haven't done it and you don't reward your teams, even when you may not think they need to be, they're on paper they shouldn't be rewarded because you're not in the winner's circle of playoff odds. I think if you're looking at long-term value, that should have some long-term value as well of saying, you know what, let's just give this a chance to make the playoffs because that increases or not increases it, it helps with development, I think. So
I totally agree. I said this, being around, and I hope that you get a chance. I know that you went to Citizens Bank Park recently.
I want to be there so bad.
Right. I hope you get a chance to do that in the playoffs. That's the
only place I want to be.
Yeah. And I said this, Julian. I said, if I was running a team, I would take some of the top prospects. I would buy them tickets to sit in the stands for those games. Like, that's what, to understand, like, what you're dealing with. Because it's not like Sacramento. It's not like most of the other parts. Do that. That is a great experience.
Yeah.
You get a taste of it. All right, last thing. The worst team in baseball is the Colorado Rockies. Who is the most untouchable person with the Colorado Rockies?
Thomas Harding, champion of the world.
Untouchable.
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 He's not going anywhere.
No, he's not going
Like,
anywhere.
he has a lifetime no trade clause.
All right, good stuff.